Hello, my name is Donna. Okay, let me take that back. My name is Little Eli, and I'm asking you about your experience here in Detroit, Michigan. Can I get your name?
Yes, Nakaya.
Well, Nikaya is midnight on the 12th of July.
The
And we just
13th now.
it's the 13th of
Yep,
July.
now it's the
And we'd like to
13th.
know what's your experience with police brutality here in this state?
I've experienced police brutality myself firsthand, as well as witnessing it happen to people I love, as well as people that I just have bypassed, um, as well as people I just felt for because I know how it feels. Um, every time I see a news story come across the screen in accordance with police brutality, I cringe and my soul cries out to God because I don't understand why in 2019 the same things are going on that have been going on, and why it's still acceptable, and why there's any debate even why it's right or wrong. Um, Prime example, I can tell you an incident that happened here, which they are actually still fighting in court to this day in Detroit. There was a young man who was only 16 years old, and he was riding a moped. The police pulled behind the young man, and he continued to ride the moped. And as he was riding the moped, instead of finding a proper solution to cut him off or get him to pull over, they decided while this young man was flying up a residential street to shoot him with a taser, causing that young man to crash and flip off of his ATV, breaking his neck and killing him because of it. And although it may not be similar to many stories where you hear the police just shooting you dead, they still caused that young man's death, and that's still a sense of police brutality. And now you have a family asking questions, what could have been done differently, and nobody wants to give answers to. And bottom line, it was wrong. But that is because we have people policing in our communities who aren't from the community and who have absolutely no idea about the humans who are dwelling within the community that they're policing, which means that their approach and their disposition, their demeanor and everything is out of whack, off bail, because they're not properly trained to police in the communities in which they're given money and benefits to police. Me, myself, I'm a woman. 3 years ago, I believe, I was 125 pounds, which is about damn near 75 pounds smaller than what I am right now. And of course, I was a black woman, and I was in a suburb, and I was ran into by a white woman in her company car, might I add, and she was under the influence clearly, and the police let her go and detained me due to the fact that I did not have proper insurance, and they were trying to tell me that my insurance was false and whatever. For one, I shouldn't have gone to jail because I was the victim at that point in time, but I was black. I was not any longer a victim when the color of my skin was shown. I was not a victim anymore. I was just a black person, and automatically that makes me a suspect. I was put in the back of a police car by an old granddaddy ass white man who I knew, and I was totally respectful. I wasn't belligerent. I was yes sir, no sir, because I knew just based off of his demeanor alone that he could kill me if he wanted to. And not to go off topic, but see, and that's so messed up that we as black people or people of color or people who are white have to think about when we're approached by the police or when we walk past the police. The police are there to protect us, I thought, but we fear them because at any given time they can take our lives. So I knew that I needed to speak to this man respectfully. And even still, I wound up having a seizure because I have a seizure disorder. I had a seizure in the backseat of the cop car while I was cuffed. And when I came back to, I woke up in an alley, still cuffed and in the backseat of that police car. And the officer turned around and said to me, I hope you don't think that just because you're back there seizing out or you're sick or whatever's going on with you right now that you're gonna get out of this, that you're gonna get a free pass. And I'm like, no sir, like, but can you get me to a hospital please, because I just knocked my head in your back seat. I am, thank you, you're so pretty too. And for one, I wake up in an alley. I was, of course, petrified by that alone. And again, going back to the point where I was the one who was violated by a driver who clearly should have been in jail instead of me. And the man proceeded to pull me out of the car, even after me telling him that I wasn't all the way coherent and that I was struggling because I had just had a seizure, but he did not care. Had I not have been as lethargic and messed up as I was, and if I was able to actually speak and take up for myself, that man probably would have killed me. But I could barely speak, and he didn't. And even once I got to the police station, I made a report about what happened, and nothing was ever done about it. The second time, last year, I was in Grosse Pointe, which is another suburb outside of the city of Detroit. And I was, again, brutalized by the police. I got to the police station. They told me to get on my knees so that I could be uncuffed.
Oh.
And I say to them, what? Why? I have to get on my knees to be on before I could even finish the rest of my sentence. My head is being smashed into the cement of the cell that I was standing in. I wound up getting transported to the hospital, and they knew that they had done wrong. And so I was there for a DUI, and that is a felony. And so instead of them giving me that DUI, they gave me a lesser charge, which wound up being a misdemeanor because they knew that what they had done was wrong. And so pretty much them giving me a lesser sentence was them making up for smashing my fucking head into cement because I had a plausible question as to why do I have to get on my hands and knees. Well, not my hands because my hands are behind my back, but on my knees like a dog to be uncuffed. And although I'm still alive because we've lost so many of our people to the same brutality that I've faced, but not in the same way, because I do still have my life by the grace of God, and I'm happy that I'm able to tell my story because people like Philando Castile, Trayvon Martin, I can go on, and Sterling Brown, I can go on and on and on. Those people aren't here to tell their story and how the police did them wrong. And how they know that it's blatant and covert racism within the police system altogether. I'm going to end this with saying, because I'm getting a little emotional, but the police are not for us. And if you think that, you're sadly mistaken, because protecting and serving is not something that they actually abide by or actually do at all. What they're doing is they're feeding into the genocide of our people. And they're doing exactly what they're put here to do, and that's to kill us. Because they fear us. And all I have to say is, know the law. Read. Be educated. And know what can be done and what cannot be done. Because that is one of the only reasons why I am still here. Because I know my rights. And I know what you can do and what you can't do. And that is one of the main reasons why they fear us. But you cannot take my education away from me. And you'll never get a chance to kill me or any of my children. Because I know my rights, I know the law, and I know how to act accordingly. I just ask you all to do the same and keep your heads up and be safe. It's not right, but we got to deal with it because it ain't going nowhere.
Well, thank you very much. And can I get your name?
Again, Nakaya.
Thank you, Nakaya.
Nakaya from Detroit, Michigan.
Thank you.
You are very
Have
welcome.
a good evening.
I appreciate it.
Okay.